This year marks the 100th year of Black History Month. Black History Month was originally a week created by Carter Woodson to correct the exclusion of Black people in American history.
Dr. Woodson, the son of former slaves and a Harvard-trained historian, initially launched Negro History Week.
It coincided with Abraham Lincoln's and Frederick Douglass's birthdays. His goal was to prove that African Americans had a rich history worth celebrating in a bigoted country that tried to dismiss their experiences.
Woodson's contribution to African American culture grew from a dedicated week to a month now called Black History Month, which celebrates African Americans who preserved, taught, and celebrated those stories and trails of African Americans.
To understand why this movement was necessary, we must look back at the time period Woodson lived in, which was the era of Jim Crow. These weren't just cultural customs. These were statewide and locally enforced laws that segregated African Americans from the rest of society.
Jim Crow was designed to dehumanize. It determined where you were allowed to eat, where you were allowed to stay, and most importantly, where you were able to learn.
Schools were segregated and ultimately resulted in a stark difference in the quality of education. While white schools were given new textbooks and modern buildings with accommodations, Black students were handed the leftovers.
Okay, growing up as a child, in 1949, I was born with a twin. We were born in the house. We didn't have doctors. We had midwives, and my mom didn't know me from my sister, so she put a string to identify Jack from Joyce. String got lost, the way I don't know my name. My name could be Joyce, but growing up, school wasn't the best. We had to go to the school that all blacks were there. Teachers didn't do a good job teaching us like they should have. And we had outdoor toilet, and we received the toilets from the white schools. The white schools would send us their old toilets, and that's the way we used in school. And we had to go outside to the toilet at school.
Tell me about you going to college and your experience at HBCU and what you learned and why you wanted to become a teacher.
Okay, then after growing up, my dad was determined that we would go to some kind of college. So I tried to go to A&T, but I couldn't. So I went to Elizabeth City. And going to Elizabeth City was the best thing that could ever happen to me. And I majored in business education because I wanted to be a teacher. And after that, I started teaching in the classroom. I got married when I was in college. In my last year, married to Willie Gilchrist. And I started teaching. And we moved to Rochester, New York. I taught a little bit there, but not much. And then we came back to North Carolina. And that's when my career really boomed off and started. Teaching was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life because I really, really love the children. And going to HBCU was just awesome for me because I wasn't used to anything. We were culturally deprived. We came from the country and we didn't have much. But after meeting Willie Gilchrist and getting exposed to things in college, I started blossoming.
Today, the battle of preservation persists. We no longer live under the laws of Jim Crow and attend segregated schools, but the erasure of history remains a threat.
How will the legacy continue to be preserved? It starts with our younger generations.
What actions could you as a student take to teach others about Black history?
As a member of BSU, during the month of February, we plan multiple events that continue and relate African American history. Our events allow for a community to join together, understand our culture, and pave the way for future generations to remember their history.
Black history is not a separate chapter in the diverse book of American history. It is the core foundation of our nation. By learning about it and continuing to share it, the next generation ensures that the light Dr. Woodson lit in 1926 will never be extinguished.